Hello, Class 8 students. I am your social science digital mentor and welcome back to the Civics class. Today we are going to start chapter 3rd Government at the Center. Learning objectives, the main idea behind Parliament, powers and functions of the Parliament, the Union Parliament, its three components, relationship between the two houses. Let's warm up. Look at the following pictures. Identify the pictures given above. What role do they play in the central government? Application skills. Ms. Shikha today told the class that Parliament is responsible for passing the laws. The Parliament is an important institution in our democracy because it makes the laws that affects all Indians. It is a part of the central government. As India has a parliamentary system of government, what is the central government? What is the parliamentary system? What would happen if the parliament did not exist? India became free on 15th August 1947, immediately after independence. The momentous task of framing the constitution fell on the shoulders of our national leaders who actively took part in the freedom struggle. While framing the constitution, the members of the Constituent Assembly kept in their mind factors like white diversity, historical background, tradition. All these factors paved the way to choose the best form of government. After a long debate and discussion, the Constituent Assembly gave form and shape to the principles that were the soul of the national struggle in the making of Constitution. The main idea behind Parliament. You have already studied that many of the principles, ideals and laws in the Constitution are derived directly or indirectly from the experiences of the mass during the struggle for freedom against the British Empire. The idea of Parliament and the participation of the citizens in the lawmaking process of the country stems from the rights denied to the citizens of India under the British rule. The colonial rulers framed laws without taking into account the interest of the masses and the opinions of the leaders of the Indian National Congress. The laws were arbitrary, exploitative, and discriminatory in nature, to say the least. In this picture, you can see Parliament. There, to ensure that the government and the lawmakers in free India remained sensitive to the demands of the people and adhered to their opinions within the purview of the constitution makers, laid the foundation of a democratic India based on the principles of universal adult franchise, that is giving voting rights to all the citizens of India who are of 18 years or above in age. Why a parliamentary form of government? India is a republic, which means the head of the Indian Union is the president, in whom all the executive power rests and in whose name it is exercised. The president is only a nominal or constitutional head of the executive who acts with the aid and advice of the real political executive, which is the Council of Ministers. The ministers are collectively responsible to the popular house of the parliament known as the Lok Sabha. Following the British pattern, the Constitution of India has adopted both at the union and the state levels the parliamentary form of government, with a council of ministers being responsible to the popular house. If the government loses the support of the popular house, it has to resign. The founding fathers of our constitution choose the parliamentary form of government as they had gained some experience of operating it under the British rule and felt that it was advantageous to continue it with established institutions. In a highly pluralistic society with a vast size like India's, they believed that the parliamentary form was best suited to accommodate the varied interests of the people of India. The Union Parliament, its three components. The Constitution provides for the Parliament of the Union of India. It has three components, namely A. The President of the Union, B. The Rajya Sabha, that is the upper house or the Council of States, and C. The Lok Sabha, that is the lower house or the House of the People. Although the President is not a member of either houses of the Parliament, nor does she sit there, yet she is an integral part of it. We have a federal system in our society. Under this system, the Parliament must have two houses. So there is one house which represents the entire people called the Lok Sabha, and there is the other house called the Rajya Sabha representing 28 states and 9 union territories, including the National Capital Territory of Delhi. The existence of both these houses is a basic requirement under the federal system. The Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. It is also called the Council of States. Composition. The strength of the Rajya Sabha is fixed at 250 members. There are two categories of its members. Fact 5. Till now, three bills, the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, the Banking Service Commission Repeal Act 1978 and the Prevention of Terrorist Activities Act 2002 have been passed at joint sittings of the two houses of parliament. Elected members. There are 238 elected members who represent the states, union territories and the National Capital Territory of Delhi. Goa, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura send only one member each to the Rajya Sabha. Nominated members. The President nominates 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. These are the eminent persons from the field of literature, science, arts, sports and social service. They are nominated for 6 years with a provision that 1/3, that is 4 out of 12, shall retire after every 2 years. Actually, these nominations are made by the President on the advice and recommendations of the Prime Minister-led Council of Ministers. Elections to the Rajya Sabha. The members of the Rajya Sabha from each state are elected by the members of the Legislative Assembly, that is lower house of that state, by means of proportional representation through the single transferable vote system. Presiding officer. The Vice President of India is the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha. She functions as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha and is assisted by the deputy chairman who is elected by the members. They maintain discipline in the house. In this picture, you can see the Vice President is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha or the lower house consists of representatives directly elected by the people on the basis of universal adult franchise. Even though it is called the lower house, it is more powerful because in it resides the will of the people. Composition. The Constitution prescribes a maximum of 550 directly elected members for the Lok Sabha. Out of these, not more than 530 members are chosen by direct election from constituencies in the states. Not more than 20 representatives are chosen from the union territories. In addition, not more than 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community can be selected by the President in case she of the opinion that the community is not adequately represented. Currently, there are 543 members in the Lok Sabha. Presently, there are no nominated Anglo-Indian members in the Lok Sabha. Special provisions are made for reservations of the seats of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Qualifications. To become a member of the Lok Sabha, a person must possess certain qualifications which include she must be a citizen of India, she must be at least 25 years old, she must not bankrupt or mentally unsound, she must not hold any office of profit under the government, state or central. Elections. Elections to the Lok Sabha are held at least once in every 5 years. For the purpose of election, the territories is divided into area called constituencies. The constituencies are created on the basis of seats in the Lok Sabha. Usually, several candidates contest elections from the constituency. A candidate may represent a political party or to be an independent non-party candidate. Voting is done by secret ballot. The candidate with the highest number of votes becomes the representative of that constituency of the Lok Sabha. After the results of election are declared, the leader of the party that wins the majority of seats in the Lok Sabha is invited by the President to form the government at the center. If no party gets a clear majority, 2 or more parties may together form the government. This type of government is called a coalition government. A party which secures the majority of seats in the parliament is known as the ruling party. The parties in opposition to it are termed as opposition parties or simply opposition. They act as a check on the ruling party by criticizing its policies. Term. The normal term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. However, the President may dissolve the Lok Sabha before the expiry of its terms if the ruling party loses its majority. During an emergency, the term of the Lok Sabha can be extended by 1 year at a time. Presiding officer. The newly elected members elect from among themselves a presiding officer called the Speaker. The Speaker conducts the proceedings of the House and maintains order within the House. At the end of a debate, He/she may take a vote on the issue. He/she can exercise his/her own casting vote only in case of a tie. A deputy speaker who carries out the proceedings of the House in the absence of the speaker is also elected. Powers and functions of the parliament. The main function of the parliament is to frame laws, but it performs many other functions as well. They are as follows. Law-making body. It frames new laws and amends or repeals them, if necessary, on all the 98 subjects of the union list and all the residuary subjects which have not found a place in any of the list. In certain cases, it can enact laws on the subjects of the state list also. The parliament along with the state legislatures can pass laws regarding the 52 subjects in the concurrent list. In case of any clash, the law passed by the parliament shall prevail. The union parliament has the sole right to amend the constitution, although in certain cases these amendments should be ratified by a majority of the states. The states can in no case initiate an amendment to the constitution. Financial control. Parliament exercises control over the government's income acquired through taxes and its expenditure for public services. The Parliament provides the ways and means to raise the revenue required and also ensures that the money that was granted has been spent for the authorized purposes. Government puts its annual financial statement or the budget before the Parliament every year. This shows the income of the government in detail and how it will be spent. The Parliament has to pass it. If it does not, the government resigns. Fact file. Question hour is an interesting part of the parliamentary proceedings when the members ask questions on every aspect of administration and governmental activity. There are lively debates and discussion. Proceedings of the question are telecast live to familiarize the public about the proceedings of the parliament. 0 hour is held after question hour. This is the time when debates over issues of public interest are held. Control over executive. The parliament keeps a check on the ministers and their work. Members of the parliament have the right to question the ministers about the working of their ministries. This is usually done during the question hour. During the 0 hour, which starts immediately after the question hour, members can raise issues of public interest. If it is not satisfied with the functioning of the minister, the Lok Sabha can pass a vote of no confidence. This is passed to remove the government from power. Given below is a sample question asked by a member to a minister. Government of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Department of Health and Family Welfare, Rajya Sabha. Unstart question number 1587 to be answered on 17th July 20. Pictorial warning on tobacco packets 1587. Srimati T. Ratnabai, will the Minister of Health and Family Welfare be pleased to state A. Whether government is implementing the pictorial warning on tobacco packs strictly, B. If so, the details thereof, and C. If not, the reason thereof. Answer. The Minister of Health and Family Welfare A and B, yes, the Government of India has notified the cigarettes and other tobacco products packaging and labeling rules 20 White GSR number 182 dated 15th March 20. As per these rules, every package of cigarettes or any other tobacco product manufactured after 31st May 20XX in the country shall have the specified health warning as specified in the said rule. Letter at the level of Secretary, Joint Secretary have been sent to exercise, custom and health officials concerned for strict compliances of aforesaid rule. C. Does not arise. Judicial functions. The Parliament enjoys certain judicial powers also. It can impeach the President, a judge of the Supreme Court or the High Court, in case they are found violating the Constitution or misusing their status or indulging in corruption of any nature. Electoral functions. The Parliament plays an important role in the election of the President and the Vice President. Relationship between the two houses. Theoretically speaking, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha enjoy equal powers, but we cannot overlook the fact that the Lok Sabha represents the people and is elected directly by the people. On the other hand, the Rajya Sabha represents the states of the Indian Union and its members are elected indirectly by the members of the state legislative assemblies. They never have to go to the people. In such a situation, it is but natural the Lok Sabha is given an upper hand in almost all matters concerning the Parliament. The two houses of our parliament at times do not share equal powers. A money bill can originate only in the Lok Sabha. The no confidence motion, when passed in the Lok Sabha, leads to the resignation of the entire Council of Ministers. Case study. How is a bill passed? An ordinary bill has to pass through the following stages before it becomes an act. First reading. At this stage, a member of either house of the parliament introduces the bill. Copies of the bill are distributed among the members. The member introducing the bill explains the purpose and the importance of the bill. Second reading. At this stage, the bill is discussed thoroughly and members suggest possible changes. Sometimes the bill is sent to the select committee or a joint committee for further discussion. A select committee is a special body which consists of members of the house where the bill has originated. A joint committee consists of members of both the houses of the parliament. Third reading. At this stage, the bill is drafted again after making suitable changes. After it gets its final form, it is presented and put to vote. If the majority of the member present vote in favor of the bill, it is passed. After the bill is passed by one house, it is sent to the other house. The bill here also undergoes the same stages as in the first house. If it is passed by the other house also, it is sent to the president to seek his approval. The second house may also return the bill with suggestions. If these suggestions are unacceptable to the first house, the president summons a joint meeting of two houses. If the bill is passed in the joint sitting, it is sent for the president's assent. If the president gives his assent, the bill becomes an act. The president can withhold his/her assent and can return the bill to the house for reconsideration. The parliament can return the bill to the president with or without the suggested changes. When the bill is so returned, the president has to sign it. The bill, when signed by the president, it becomes an act of parliament or a law. Money bills. Unlike an ordinary bill, a money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. The procedure for passing a money bill is almost the same as the procedure for passing an ordinary bill. After three readings in the Lok Sabha, the bill is sent to the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha has to return the bill within 14 days. The upper house may suggest changes even if the changes are not accepted. Once the lower house sends it to the president, he has to sign it. Value and life skills. Our country has people of many different races and religions. Why do you think that it is necessary to represent all of them in the parliament? Recapitulation. The constitution makers laid the foundation of a democratic India based on the principles of universal adult franchise. The Indian parliament consists of the president, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. The head of the state in a parliamentary form of government possesses only nominal powers, while the real power rests with the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. The main function of the Parliament is to legislate, to control the financial matters, to select the national government, to control, guide and inform the government, and to control the executive. Thank you class. Let's meet again in the next chapter.